I was with Montana Slim, and we started hitting the bars. I had about $7, $5 of which I foolishly squandered that night. First we milled with an all-cowboy dud of tourists and oilmen and ranchers at bars and doorways on the sidewalk. Then for a while I shook Slim, who was wandering a little slap-happy in the street from all the whiskey and beer. He was that kind of drinker. His eyes got glazed, and in a minute he'd be telling an absolute stranger about things. I went into a chili joint, and the waitress was Mexican and beautiful. I ate, and then I wrote her a little love note on the back of the bill. The chili joint was deserted. Everybody was somebody somewhere else. Was somebody else drinking. I told her to turn the bill over. She read it and laughed. It was a little poem about how I wanted her to come and see the night with me. I'd love to, Chiquito, but I have a date with my boyfriend. Can't you shake him? No, I don't, she said sadly. And I love the way she said it. Some other time I'll come by here, I said. And she said, anytime, kid. Still, I hung around just to look at her, and I had another cup of coffee. Her boyfriend came in suddenly and wanted to know when she was off. She bustled around to close the place quick. I had to get out. I gave her a smile when I left. Things were going on as wild as ever outside, except that the fat burpers were getting drunker and whooping it up louder. It was funny. There were Indian chiefs wandering around in big headdresses and really solemn among the flushed, drunken faces. I saw Slim tottering along and joined him. He said, I just wrote a postcard to my pa in Montana. You reckon you can find a mailbox and put it in? It was a strange request. He gave me the postcard and tottered through the swinging doors of a saloon. I took the card, went to the box, and took a quick look at it. Dear Pa, I'll be back Wednesday. Everything's all right with me, and I hope the same is with you, Richard. It gave me a different idea of him, how tenderly polite he was with his father. I went into the bar and joined him. We picked up 2 girls, a pretty young blonde and a fat brunette. They were dumb and sullen, but we wanted to make them. We took them to the rickety nightclub that was already closing, and there I spent all but $2 on scotches for them and beer for us. I was getting drunk. I didn't care. Everything was fine. My whole being and purpose was pointed at the little blonde. I wanted to go in there with all my strength. I hugged her and I wanted to tell her. The nightclub closed and we all wandered out in the rickety, dusty streets. I looked up at the sky. The pure, wonderful stars were still there, burning. The girls wanted to go to the bus station, so we all went. But apparently they wanted to meet some sailor who was there waiting for them, a cousin of the brunettes. And the sailor had friends with him and said to the blonde, "What's up?" She said she wanted to go home in Colorado, just over the line, south of Cheyenne. "I'll take you in a bus," I said. "No, the bus stops on the highway and I have to walk across that damn prairie all by myself." I spent all afternoon looking at that damn thing, and I don't aim to walk over it tonight. Listen, we'll take a nice walk in the prairie flowers. "There ain't no flowers here," she said. "I want to go to New York. I'm sick and tired of this. Ain't no place to go but Cheyenne. Ain't nothing in Cheyenne. Ain't nothing in New York." "Hell, there ain't," she said with a curl of her lip. The bus station was crowded to the doors. All kinds of people were waiting for buses or just standing around. There were a lot of Indians who watched everything with their stony eyes. The girl disengaged herself from my talk and joined the sailor and the others. Slim was dozing on a bench. I sat down. The floors of the bus stations are all the same all over the country. always covered with butts and spit, and they give a feeling of sadness that only a bus station has. For a moment, it was no different from being in New York, except for the great hugeness outside that I loved so much. I rued the way I had broken up the purity of my entire trip by not saving every dime and dawdling and not really making time, fooling around with this sullen girl and spending all my money. It made me sick. I hadn't slept in so long I got too tired to curse and fuss and went off to sleep. I curled up on the seat with my canvas bag for a pillow. I slept till 8 o'clock in the morning among the dreamy murmurs and noises of the station and of hundreds of people passing. I woke up with a big headache. Slim was gone to Montana, I guess. I went outside, and there in the blue air I saw for the first time, far off, the great snowy tops of the Rocky Mountains. I took a deep breath. I had to get to Denver at once. First I ate breakfast, a modest one of toast and coffee and 1 egg. And then I cut out of town to the highway. The Wild West Festival was still going on. There was a rodeo and the whooping and jumping about. It's about to start all over again. I left it behind me. I wanted to see my gang in Denver. I took the one nearest the mountains so I could look at them. I pointed myself away. I got right off from a young fellow. A ride from a young fellow from Connecticut who was driving around the country in his jalopy, painting. He was the son of an editor in the East. He talked and talked. I was sick to my head from drinking, from the altitude. At one point, I almost had to stick my head out of the window. But by the time he let me off at Longmont, Colorado, I was feeling normal again and had even started telling him about the state of my own travels. He wished me luck. Good luck, everybody. It was beautiful in Longmont. Under a tremendous old tree was a bed of green lawn grass belonging to a gas station. I asked the attendant if I could sleep there, and he said sure. So I stretched out a wool shirt, laid my face flat on it, with an elbow out, and with one eye cocked at the snowy Rockies, in the hot sun for just a moment. I fell asleep with 2 delicious hours, the only discomfort being an occasional Colorado aunt. And here I am in Colorado. I kept thinking gleefully, damn, I'm making it. And after refreshing sleep with cobwebby dreams of my past life in the East, I got up, I washed in the station's men room, I strode off fit and slick as a fiddle, and got me a rich, thick milkshake at the roadhouse to put some freeze in my hot, tormented stomach. Incidentally, a very beautiful Colorado gal shook me that cream. She was all smiles, too. I was grateful. It made up for last night. I said to myself, wow, what'll Denver be like? I got on that hot road, and off I went in a brand new car, driven by a Denver businessman of about 35. He went 70. I tingled all over. I counted minutes and subtracted miles just ahead over the rolling wheat fields, all golden beneath the distant snow of the east. Estes, I'd be seeing old Denver at last. I pictured myself in a Denver bar that night with the gang. In their eyes, I would be strange and ragged, like a prophet who has always walked across the land to bring the dark word. The only word I had was wow. The man I had a long, warm conversation about our respective schemes in life, and before I knew it, we were going over the wholesale fruit markets outside of Denver, and there were smokestacks, smoke rail yards, red brick buildings, and in the distant downtown Greystone buildings. And here I was in Denver. He let me off at Larimer Street. I stumbled along with the most wicked grin of joy in the world among the old bums and beat cowboys of Larimer. This is Poetry and Stories. That was Jack Kerouac on the road, jazz pianic Eric Lewis. You're listening to KHEN LP 106.9 Salida, heart of the Rockies, Colorado, that is. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week. Same time, same place for your escape.
KHEN LP 106.9 Salida, Colorado.